Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody who joined us. I am Saba, Program Manager at BNB Chain, and we are going to talk about today Bubblemaps, and I have some very distinguished guests here with me, the CEO and CMO of Bubblemaps, Nick and Don. And we have just announced like a collaboration between Bubblemaps and Avenger the community-driven security initiative on BNB Chain. So very excited to share more about, very excited for Nick and Don to share more about Bubblemaps and how they work with Avenger now. Hey guys, how are you?
Hello, absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us. We can't wait to jump into some of these awesome discoveries that we've found, because Bubblemaps, I find, is really paving the way for future transparency. So thank you for having us.
Hello, Xaba. Super excited to be here as well. As I was saying before, our history with BNB Chain goes a long while ago, and seeing this unfolding in real time has been amazing.
Awesome. Very excited to have you guys here. So can you introduce a bit about Bubblemaps, how you came up with the idea and what like the basic features of like your product is?
Absolutely. So just to give you some context, I'm Nick, the co-founder and CEO of Bubblemaps, which is interactive, transparent, and fun way of exploring blockchain data. The tool has been released for approximately 1 year. It started at the beginning of 2022, and we actually started on BNB Chain, BSC back in the days before expanding on other networks, of course, because we're an agnostic tool and we need to cover as many grounds as we can. But the idea for the tool came up because on-chain data, or DeFi as a whole, has seen a meteoric rise in 2021. And we were under the impression, we felt that there was a lack of maybe playfulness, of interactivity when it comes to this analytical tool. They were maybe too complex in the way they were presenting data. And our goal with Bubblemaps is, I would say humbly, our goal is to provide a solid alternative to traditional block explorers like Etherscan, BSC Scan, that maybe might not fit the mainstream researchers and on-chain detective who would need a more interactive way to go through all this data.
I like what you said there, Nick. I would expand by saying, like, the statistics are out there. I mean, like, only a certain few decentralized traders that use these analytical tools. So to bridge that gap, to create this fun, interactive, and playful way of doing research, making it easier for everyone, I think is the way forward. We've all been on blockchain explorers, clicking the links, getting lost. You have to have so many tabs open. It gets so messy. I mean, that's what I used to do for sure. I mean, you'd get to the answer, but it'd take you ages, and you just get lost in translations for a second there. But with Bubblemaps, you save all that time, and it's there in front of you. You just click on a map, because we list numerous amounts of tokens, of course. So your favorite project, your investment, could be on the homepage right now, and you could take a look, and then immediately you can see exactly what you need to see in a fun, interactive, transparent way.
Yeah, 100% agree. When I first saw your project, guys, I was super impressed because I was doing the same thing, like always clicking through BSC Scan and downloading all kinds of like extensions to showcase which wallet goes where, etc. And like all of these are kind of like not so user-friendly, I would say. But like Bubblemaps is one of the most user-friendly block explorer kind of analytical tools that I have ever seen. So I recommend to everybody in the audience and outside of the audience to use it, because it is very much like increasing your knowledge about like the centralization of tokens and just the whole risk of getting involved with the project. So awesome. Do you guys want to share a quick product demo of Bubblemaps so people can see it like more visually what we are talking about?
Absolutely. Let's do this, because as we said, it's a visual tool, so we might as well go straight in. Is it working? Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly.
All right, awesome. So I will begin by explaining the basic rules of the game. We're not going to go into the use cases straight away, We go slowly and steady. And I want to show you one bubble map that is easy to understand, easy to read, so you get the fundamentals. And for this, I'm going to have a look at Venus. Venus, which is the biggest lending and borrowing protocol on BNB chain. They have billions in TVL, and they have been around for a long time. It's actually one of the tokens that we've been working with for some time. All right, so what do we have here? What you can see on screen are the top 150 holders of Venus, so XVS, their token, as 150 bubbles. So one wallet, one bubble here is a wallet address holding their token. The bigger the bubble, the more Venus you own, of course. So this big bubble is one of the biggest holder. This one also is a big holder. And as you go down the wallet ranking list, bubbles become smaller and smaller, and you can see the amount they own here compared to the circulating supply. But the best part of Bubblemaps is that you can see how those wallets are mutually connected via transfers of BNB. So if there's been any BNB transfers, the wallets are going to be linked together. So let me show you one example. You have a cluster here, which means that BNB transfer happened. And you can see the arrows are dynamically representing the transfers of the BNB. If you click on show transfers, you can see the amount that are flowing in and flowing out of these wallets. So wallet 16 has been receiving 5,000 BNB from wallet 13, 36,000 from wallet 41, and sending 0.1 and 8.9 to 64 and 65. And of course, this doesn't surprise me that there is significant BNB movements within Venus, because it is a huge lending and borrowing, and they have to move funds around to feed some wallets and to operate these pools correctly. So it doesn't surprise me to have movements like this. So this is the basic rules of the game. But of course, there is not only the BNB transfers that you can see, but other forms of connections. So like BUSD, that shows now, so those are the same holders, except BUSD transfers connect the bubbles. And also the native token XVS. So now the bubbles are going to be connected if a XVS transfer happens. And again, you can see between 6 and 14, the two wallets, 2.2 XVS was received and 2.3 million was sent. And it is actually a very powerful way of visualizing the holders and understanding why some wallets are connected. Because for all you know, some wallets could belong to the same person, or some marketing payments could be performed between two wallets. Some team wallets could be connected because they send payments to the team. So there is a variety of use case: pre-sale, private sale, wash trading, wallet splitting. In this scenario, Venus is a very safe Bubblemaps. Those connections are perfectly healthy and normal. But we will demonstrate in a second how to spot suspicious activity.
Yeah, that would have been my next question. That how does like the suspicious bubble map look like, and how can a user like who would use Bubblemaps for the first time identify these suspicious projects?
Well, I'm glad you asked. This is my favorite part, just discovering these and putting them out there for in potential investors to see, because it's super important, because there's so many tokens popping up every single day. But something as simple as typing into Bubblemaps, I mean, it's going to save you. It's going to save you a lot. So this one in particular, it takes the cherry on the top, you know. What we're looking at here is a once popular token. It was trending, I believe, on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. But once we typed it into Bubblemaps, take a look at this cluster. Like, it's all interwoven and interlinked. And if we compare it to the one we just saw, this isn't a normal working tokens cluster. There's something going on behind the scenes. Now, this is a classic sign of wallet splitting, where one owner controls 24% of the supply, split through a series of multiple connected wallets. So this is a bad one. This is not so good. But to analyze this deeper, we click on show transfers, and the amount of BNB that's being sent and received, it doesn't follow like a clear pattern of what we've seen previously, and it's not looking too good. So this is wallet splitting, and what confirmed our suspicions was the team or one entity sold through all of these wallets at once, netting a profit of almost $400,000, bringing the price to zero. So when you're out there in the wild, I know there's a little bit of ambiguity, but when you're out there in the wild and you see a bubble map like this, you know, you gotta approach it with caution. I mean, this one had a lot of the supply linked together. And what we're seeing is these newly launched projects or tokens that entice people to go in have bubble maps like this. So if you're a frequent trader, you know, if you're worried about the token you're about to invest into, like this tool will save you a lot of time and effort. And this next example is a pretty good one, if I do say so to myself. So this is an NFT collection, and what we're seeing here is a form of wash trading. So they're enticing users to buy into their NFT collection. And how are they doing this? Well, they're sending each other Ethereum to then buy the NFT collections to falsely inflate the volume. And if you see here, there's reciprocating amounts being sent back and forth. What they're doing is they're sending them the Ethereum needed to buy the NFTs, and then anything that's left extra, they're sending back to that original wallet. Now, this pattern is not very nice to see, and it seems like it's belonging to the same circle of investors moving on to project and just getting people to buy in and all of that. And it's not good at all. So please do trade with caution. And we are on, and you can view NFT collections as well. And there's less ambiguity when it comes to NFT collections. What you see here is the transfers of Ethereum to then buy the token, to buy the NFT collection.
And this NFT collection was later removed from OpenSea, just to tell you that some of these signs can have big consequences. There was a big controversy that arose on Twitter. The internet detective CoffeeZilla, if you're familiar with this one, Xaba, he mentioned that a couple of phantom wallets were buying and selling the NFTs to themselves. Mm-hmm. And it was hard for him to get this information. You have to go through Etherscan and look at all the wallets and remember the connections, remember which wallets are involved. But with Bubblemaps, in an instant, you can see that those three wallets in the middle, those three bubbles in the middle, are being used to circulate Ethereum around. They're the pivots they're using to fund all the border wallets, mm-hmm. and then they're buying and selling the NFT. So typical wash trading, and unfortunately, they suffer the consequences of this cluster.
Awesome. Thank you so much for demonstrating this. I think what you just mentioned is like a great story from for every member in the audience, that like if you see like a token or NFT trending on CoinMarketCap or OpenSea, it is very much worth it to scan it through on Bubblemaps before like purchasing it or like using or whatever, like getting involved with the project. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And especially for the audience listening, I know in this realm of tokens and meme coins, it can turn into a casino real quickly. Gamblers who want to invest into the smaller tokens in the perspective of bigger gains. But with Bubblemaps, it's actually a very easy way to eliminate the majority of these newly launched tokens, because when you see that 80% of the supply is connected, so probably belonging to the same person, you might want to avoid investing.
Yeah, I agree. I think like it gives a great edge to traders as well, to like, as you mentioned, avoid like making like insane mistakes and losing all their money to the project owners. So yeah, awesome. I wanted to ask about a recently released feature of yours, the historical bubble maps. Can you tell us a bit more about that, please?
Absolutely. So historical bubble maps is one of the biggest updates that we have been releasing in 2022. That was a very, very important one. And I want to demonstrate this very quickly. So essentially, just to give you some more context, bubble maps is a living object. It's a moving thing. The distribution of a token, when you look at any token, Venus, binary X or Uniswap, the distribution evolves in time as new people get in, as new people sell, as former holders sell their supply, or as new transfers are being made between the holders. So it's a moving thing that you have to keep evaluating as times progress. And in the case of Uniswap, for example, you can see that the token was refreshed 2 days ago, which is a very which is enough, because Uniswap top holders doesn't move that much. It's a couple of millions, so you don't see a lot of movements here. But sometimes when you go back in time, you're actually going to see some very big movements happening. So this one was from 2 days ago, but let us go 4 weeks ago, and you see a new cluster appear here. Let me go back a bit harder, 3 months ago. And suddenly you see a brand new clusters appearing here that was not there before. So what happened in the meantime? If I go 5 months ago, again, a new cluster. And if I go hard, like, okay, 1 year ago, then it's a completely different map with a completely different set of connections. And the reason why it's very historical Bubblemaps is so important is because when you evaluate a token, if you want to buy in, you might want to see the original token distribution, because the original, how the holders were at the very beginning in the inception, gives you a lot of information of on the token sustainability. So who were the first VCs that got in, especially if there was a pre-sale? Who was the first VC that got in? What was the price that what was the vesting and the price that they received the token? What did they do with the token? Did they keep it, or did they sold? Are they DCA? So are they regularly investing? And by going back in time, by rewinding the tape, you have access to so much more information about the token. So this is historical Bubblemaps. It's only the V1, because right now you don't have access to all the data points. As you can see, you have like 4 points a month, and you can only go back 1 year ago. But we're going to release a comprehensive historical Bubblemaps soon, which is going to be, you can have the Bubblemaps at any time. So if you want to see the Bubblmap of Uniswap in January 20th, 2019, you could theoretically get it.
Wow, super impressive. I think like this shows like how much project have involved, and like the top holders decrease over time. Like it's very interesting to see and like analyze previous price movements as well for traders and anybody who would want to invest. It's awesome. When did you release this feature, by the way? May I ask that?
Absolutely. It was released in November 2022.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
it's a
So
recent one.
few months ago already, but yeah. By the way, I just a quick note to the audience: if you have any questions to Nick or Don, please let us know in the chat of YouTube or Twitter or wherever you're watching, so we can ask at the end of the question. Thank you. Going to my next question, I wanted to ask: how do you generate revenue, and who are your clients usually?
Absolutely, my dear Xaba. As a traditional company, which is Bubblemaps, of course, we're going to need these revenue streams to keep building new features, to keep expanding. And the year 2023 is, I believe, going to be the year of the explosion of Bubblemaps, where the exponential growth is upon us. But 2022 was the year of the spark, where we generated revenue for ourselves, and we made a name, and we solidified our brand. So we have 2 main revenue streams. The first one is auditing, or token, let's say advertising or auditing, which is when tokens, they get in touch with us because they want to see their Bubblmap, and they want us to audit their Bubblmap and share the results. So it's something we've been doing a lot in the previous year, Don.
Cool,
Exactly.
very cool. Go ahead, sorry.
Exactly. So we like to look at it like this way: like standard audits only last for the inception of the token, to scan the contract, to take a closer look at any backdoors in the code or anything like that. But we're struggling to find anything on the market that kind of like lasts for the longevity of the project for the token. And we find something like Bubblemaps covers that. So you can constantly update the map. You can take a look at any transfers, have whales sold, is there any connections? Is it team wallets that are connected? Is there any shady activity going on? Has there been 1,000 BNB suddenly sent from top holder to top holder? Like all of this can be checked upon. And then you can quiz the team about it, as well as doing your own research. You can say, hey, I've just discovered this new transfer. What is it for? You can maybe see as well, like, has the team has a team joined a centralized exchange and things like that. So yeah, super helpful for all things like that.
And this is the first one. This is only the first revenue model, which is purely B2B, auditing tokens. And we've been auditing some large DeFi tokens. Honestly, we're super proud of having audits, having performed audits for 1inch, for Gelato, for Venus, for Olympus DAO. So all these big DeFi tokens have asked for our help and our expertise in investigating the tokens and the clusters. So this is the first revenue streams, and the first one is, I would say, adding Bubblemaps on third-party website for a monthly fee. So the great thing about Bubblemaps is that it's not confined to a website. Our iframes can be embedded on other websites. And if you check GemXYZ, for example, which is an NFT aggregator that was acquired by OpenSea, our NFT, our iframes are there for everyone to see. So like if you go into Mutant Ape Yacht Club and the holders, there you can see directly the bubble map, which is a nice thing to see for the holders and for their users.
We're also on, like, I know it varies from investor to investor, but we're on Dex Tools and Dex Screener as well. Like Dex Tools is fantastic to seek partnership with the team over there. It's absolutely incredible. I know Dex Screener and Dex Tools, of course, are probably the top 5 or the top 3 dashboards out there. Yeah, you can directly access Bubblemaps from there. So it's really convenient. I mean, if you want something in a one-stop shop, it's all there ready to be viewed. So yeah, nice and easy.
Very, very cool. Just a heads up for the audience. I think the iframes will be deployed on Avenger DAO's website as well, because everything that we were mentioning, like quite recently about like the scope of the audits is not enough, etc. We are exactly thinking the same and working on this in real time on a security framework on BNB Chain side and on Avenger DAO side as well, because like a few years ago, like 3, 4, 5 years ago, having a security audit for projects wasn't like that much essential as today. But we believe like that real-time monitoring, for example, Bubblemaps, is essential as well to have today because of the lots of malicious activity. So this is an amazing tool for that, I would say. So that is why thank you so much for letting us utilize and being like a partner with Avenger DAO on this as well, and so we can feature it on the website too. So that should go live in the following 2 weeks as well. So very much looking forward to that.
When I'll ask one question: when Binance NFT, Bubblemaps for Binance NFT?
Good question. I'm not too sure. I would say that like the best way would be to sync up with the NFT team on that, but yeah, we will see. I think like it won't be so. We won't have to wait a lot for that. Yeah.
Cool.
That's actually a good question because we're on multiple Ethereum marketplaces, Phantom, Avalanche. The only chains where we don't have iframes for NFT is actually BNB Chain. So very much looking forward to that.
Awesome. Happy to do the first integration on that. So it's already, by the way, in our QA environment. We are just making some last modifications on the website and will be released very soon. Cool. So you previously mentioned that you started Bubblemaps on BNB Chain and then expanded to other chains. Can you give us a bit more context, or are you planning to expand to more chains, or you would only focus on BNB Chain and the current other chains that you are having, or what are your plans on this this side?
Absolutely. So, you know, it was the best thing ever to discover a chain like BNB Chain, because, you know, it allowed us to grow and it allowed us to learn. It allowed us to like have an open platform where we could literally have the support and know how to do what we wanted to do. So that was a blessing to have that to begin with. But with such an agnostic tool like Bubblemaps, of course, we didn't want to pigeonhole ourselves to just one blockchain. And you know, with support from other blockchains approaching us, wanting us to kind of bridge out to their chains, we felt it'd be the natural progression kind of thing. So since then, we have, I'm sure it's on our website, you can see all the chains we are supported by. But going into the future, you know, there's so many chains and places we can take this. I think when you're building a security tool, you don't want to just be confined by just one by one chain. So definitely important to keep this going. And in the next weeks, in the next months, we'll have more and more announcements from different chains coming, and co-marketing supports and efforts. But it all started at BNB Chain, so we're incredibly grateful to have this like launch pad almost to achieve all these brilliant things. I was just thinking about when we first started this project. Our native token behind Bubblemaps, we launched that on BNB Chain in 2021, I believe, in April, at the bull run, and it was just fantastic to see the community grow, the support, the outpouring from everyone at BNB Chain, and just all the community members. It's really like a family. So we really do appreciate everyone that we've picked up along the way, and the support and endorsement that we've seen. So it's been incredible, really. So yeah.
Not mentioning the BNB Chain Innovation Incubator.
How could I forget? Thank you for bringing that up.
That we participated in. So the last weeks, that was announced recently, the BNB Chain Innovation Incubator that we were a part in. And the recent support from BNB Chain has been through the roof. Honestly, I can't thank you enough. And it's great to have this after starting on BNB Chain. I think we have gone full circle, exploring those other chains, but now finally landing on BNB Chain with all these announcements, all these partnerships.
Thank you so much for the kind words. It means a lot, and we are very pleased that you guys chose BNB Chain as your first chain to integrate with. And what you were mentioning about like security tools should not be only on one chain. 100% agree with you. Yeah, I think like the whole crypto industry should be like more secure and more compliant. And if only one chain follows this kind of rules, that would not like bring the whole industry forward. So 100% agree with you. It's super essential to bring these key tools to more chains.
Exactly. And I think in relation to the news we've seen recently with like FTX and all these kind of exchanges and all the governments and all the institutions, their eyes are on crypto right now and investigating it thoroughly. So I think there's a real demand for these tools that are transparent, to showcase all this data in an easy to read way. And I think it will prevent any bad publicity if everything's just easily if it's just transparent in front of you. It's gonna save the day, I think. And I hope to see more developers kind of coming on board to these kind of tools and to analyze things like this. I do hope in the future we see more of this.
Yeah, 100% agree. Could you tell us a little bit more about your partnership with BNB Chain and why you joined Avenger DAO recently?
Of course. So this is one of the best partnerships we've made so far. I think it's safe to say. So if you go into the Avenger DAO website, you will see the amazing crew that is making this Avenger DAO. There is so many great partners: security, audits, compliance, and of course on-chain data tools. And I think the reason why BNB Chain made this initiative in the first place is because if you gather up all this expertise and all this knowledge about on-chain data and security, you significantly improve the security within the BNB Chain ecosystem. So I think all the users, they need a place where they can safely investigate tokens with comprehensive tools. Before investing, they can check the bubble map. So directly on Avenger DAO, they will be able to check the bubble map of the token and see if there's any conglomerate of wallets, any foul play regarding the distribution. But they will also have access to a variety of partners and tools to make sure that the contract is safe, that there is no redundancy in the codes, that there is no weird proxy function that are going to steal your token. So an all-in-one place where they can make sure their investment is safe. And we're super happy to join this initiative, to bring our own expertise to this endeavor.
Amazing. Thank you so much once again for your kind words. Very excited to take it to the next level with having you guys on board as well. My last question would be how to become a premium on Bubblemaps. What is the process on that?
Absolutely. To unlock the full potential of the website itself, all you've got to do is hold our native token, which is called Moonlight Token, and if you hold enough, you can then have access to things like historical bubble maps, which allows you to, of course, what we've touched upon, allows you to sort of like go back in time and analyze and see any neat little changes and things like that. So if you're a serious trader, I'd recommend checking that one out. So yeah, it's as simple as that. Hold enough, and you can have access to that. But for non-premium users, of course, the website is freely available, and you can view any token you like. And yes, you won't be able to refresh it and things like that, but you'll have a lot of features there that you can check out and analyze. So nice and easy.
To give some context on the premium, if I may, the tool is free for everybody to use. Bubblemaps is a free service, but we do have some premium function. And it's to keep it simple, when you're premium, you have access to the fourth dimension, which is time, which means you can have access to all historical data. You can compute new bubble maps that has never been computed, and you have unlimited refresh, because as I said before, bubble maps is updated regularly. But if you want a very specific refresh right now, only our premium members can do it. And this is why so far we have about 600 premium users who are holding our token Moonlight. I think you need 250 billion, but you can find the information on the website. And yeah, start exploring and start enhancing your research.
I'd also add as well, like we have a really healthy community on our social medias. So if you're ever stuck with what you find, or like you found a cluster and you're new to bubble maps, you're not too sure what it means, you could just jump aboard, and we're all active and ready to answer. We've got a dedicated team of admins who love to jump into these findings and to get the right answers for you. So, if you are new, then please join, and we'll help you out.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this context. I think like it's great to see that you already make like so many features available for non-premium users as well, and it's like amazing, to be honest, and that there's even more on the premium offering. So thank you so much for sharing this. I also wanted to like summarize some of the future next steps for like the audience. So as I previously mentioned, Bubblemaps will be on Avenger DAO as an iframes very soon on the website. And you guys mentioned a few that there will be lots of partnership announcements and maybe deployment or other chains in the near future. Is there anything that you want to like comment on it now before we end this session, or yeah, what do you think?
I can't tell too much because we want to keep building up anticipation. But what I can say though here, as an exclusive announcement, is that there is going to be a new chain this month.
Okay.
And it's going to be a pretty big one.
Okay, very exciting. Thank you so much for sharing this. So once again, thank you everybody for tuning in to this AMA. This was Saba, Nick, and Don from Bubblemaps, and yeah, please tune us in next time as well. And thank you so much for your attention. Do you have any last comments to the audience, Nick or Don?
Yeah, just to say thank you so much for listening to us babble on about safety and security. I hope you learned something. And if you do take trading seriously, then please check it out. And we're always contactable on all of our socials, here to help and support and grow the community, diminish any bad actors that may be taking place in the chain itself. So yeah, just to summarize, thank you so much for having us. Nikki?
Did it.
Got it. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, everybody. Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you. Peace. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.